a bit of knowledge is about the James idea again, right? And the James becoming a signal box, right? So you have the idea of a signal box, right? Signals, right? Signals are given and received, right? And you can jam signals and block signals, right? And you can see as in the Bible, it's better to give than to receive, right? And obviously, they make a lot of double entendre jokes about this idea and all that, right? Like sex related and all that. But if you look at it like a bit more mentally and all that, right? It becomes the idea of signals, right? So obviously you had a signal box where they created signal boxes which were to do with trains, stuff like that, right? Then they evolved the idea of the signal box and become things like radios and televisions and all stuff like that. Electronics, modern day electronics, based on the idea of a signal box, right? Like electronic signals and all that being sort of moved and halted and sort of started up again, jammed, blocked. You know what I mean? It's like the sort of whole electronics circuitry idea sort of comes from the idea of a signal box, right? So you've got the jam idea, right? The James, right? And one of the names of James, right, is Cubos, right? Or Cuba, right? I think that's the Polish or something, right? So basically James becomes the cube, right? So you've got the box and the cube idea and the James again, right? And this is to do with jamming signals, blocking signals, right? And this goes back to the blockheads idea, which is on the Tower of Babel thing, which is on the EU poster, right? The Tower of Babel, right? So as we know, the Babel basically becomes Labab, right? Labab, which is heart, Hebrew for heart, right? So it's like love. It's like the love tower, right? It's the Tower of Love, right? So you've got that sort of imagery of this tower, right? With all the sort of T's in it, right? Like the T over the tower, right? T's over the other men type of thing, right? So you've got that love tower, right? And then you've got the blockheads walking around in confusion on the outside, right? And what they put out is the official sort of blurb or whatever is that Babel means confusion, right? That's what they sort of say in the official write-ups anyway, right? That Babel means confusion, right? So it's like the blockheads are confused on the outside, right? So it's like the signals which they are sending the blockheads, right? Which basically becomes natural people, right? The signals they are sending them is to confuse them and all that, right? So obviously that refers to your television signals and all that. Your massive hexes and all this, right? To create confusion in the minds of the ones who are outside of this tower, right? And basically you had a song, right, which was by the B-52s called Love Shack, right? So obviously B-52s is like, B for brotherhood type of thing, and the 52s for the sevens, right? And they had the song called Love Shack, right? And it's basically talking about the Tower of Babel idea, right? Inside the Love Shack, right? And as we know, all the sort of lyrics in these songs are always coded with stuff, and not just sort of, written doing quickly. They're always very carefully thought out, even if they're just simple-minded, lyrics and that. So always coded, right? And the sort of singer says in this song, right? Obviously they're all T's and that. And the singer says, "Yeah, I've got me a Chrysler, it's as big as a wheel," right? So you've got the Chrysler idea becomes the Christ idea, and the wheel, right? The wheel idea is again going back to the King James idea, because King James formed the office of Prince of Wales or something, right? For his son Henry or something, according to the sort of write-ups and all that, right? So the Prince of Wales idea is going back to the Tower of Babel, the love idea, right? And if you see James and Whale, right, are always connected, because I remember a few years ago and there was the James Whale radio show, right? And there was a, what do you call it, a director of the Hollywood movies. I think he'd done Frankenstein or something, the early movies like 1930s, and he was called James Whale. He was like a famous director in the Hollywood type of thing, right? So the James and the Whales idea is always together quite a lot, right? So that's basically talking about the Tower of Babel idea, right? Which is the sort of love tower, right? So obviously, then you get a lot of shills and that who try to equate this, these dirty shills that go on about, or they're building a Satanist tower to meet the Antichrist or something in the sky or something, like all this ridiculous stuff. And of course, what this actual Tower of Babel is just talking about the T program type of thing. And when they're inside this tower, it's like, full of love and all this, and on the outside of it, it's like the fear and loathing idea, you see what I mean? Like fear and loathing in Las Vegas. They create the sort of confused signals in that. To create the fear and loathing, like pedo hexes and all this, to make you sort of believe in the sort of evil of mankind and all this, and make you sort of distrustful and full of worry and fear, you see what I'm saying, while they're sort of having hearts filled with love and all this inside this tower type of idea, see what I'm saying? It's metaphoric in that. See? And there's also the thing which was put out by Shills, right, which is this type of idea of Metatron, right? Metatron, the cube they call it, right? Which is sort of supposedly sort of an update of Satan or something. It's that obviously ridiculous T garbage in that, right? But they're going on about this Metatron idea is something to do with Satan and the cube and all this, right? And of course, you got the Tron idea is basically same as Tron, right? In the sort of meta is like the metaphorical, for no sort of metaphorical explanation, right? And they talk about the cube idea, and the cube, again, sort of, it refers to the James idea. See what I'm saying? The James, the Cubos, or the Cuba. So it's, all connected in such manner. Just basically T program stuff, innit? Know what I mean? And I always try and confuse with the signals, see? Because signals is basically, what life's all about, innit? You take a signal, it's like a cue to do something or whatever, so you read a signal in your brain or whatever. See what I mean? So if they can block signals, jam signals, and replace them with like other signals which sort of lead you into fear and hex and all that, you see what I mean? It's basically that type of thing. It's like mental, mind control yet again, see what I mean? So see what I mean? So like the jamming idea, like Bob Marley jamming, and of course, like when you have music groups that do a jamming session or something, it means creating music, doesn't it? So it's like, obviously this makes signals, doesn't it? Music makes signals, and they sort of correspond to emotions in the sort of in the person, in the mind and that, and can influence the way you feel, or make you angry or sad or happy or whatever. Like the idea of manipulating the emotions. That's like the sort of lyre thing, the Apollo playing the lyre, see what I mean? The music idea, see, making you sort of dance or get sad or whatever, see what I'm saying? So they have that type of idea in the King James, see, in the jam. And another thing is the jam in Jerusalem, which is the Women's Institute, really. So obviously, if it's jam in Jerusalem, again, it's like the double James idea. So obviously these are not real women, and they're T women, you see what I mean? So it's